wearing stripes.
Black and white.
Yeah, black and white, yeah.
All right, tell me when we're ready to go. And okay. And then Kylie, we can move Kylie over a little bit so we can see her. You just got, she's over. She's like half of your face. Thanks.
I got to play in the corner.
All right, here we go. Welcome, everybody. I'd like to call the June 18th, 2026 meeting to order. Before we move on to the agenda items, I'd like to acknowledge our hybrid meeting format. Where the meeting is being recorded and will be available by contacting Danae or via the City of Bothell's website via the YouTube channel, I think is where it's located specifically. Call-in number was provided on the meeting agenda for members of the public who wish to call in by phone, but I don't believe we have anybody else tonight. And for our phone and callers, Kylie, during presentations, we'll make every effort to specify what materials we're referencing, and we'll try to watch for your hand. So we'll now take roll call of the Bothell Arts Commission by position number. Please say here when I call your name. So Tanya Cadena Sagun is excused. So we'll move on. Kylie Chang, Secretary, position 2.
You can raise your hand.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, great. Hillary Long, position 3.
Here.
Okay, AC Peterson, position 4.
Here.
Holly Hughes, Vice Chair, position 5.
Here.
Mary Beth Turk, that's me, position 6. Here. Nikita Thakalat, position 7. And then our 2 youth positions, Unshi Shah, position 8, and Anvitha Babu, position 9. I don't think we've heard from. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so in addition, the following city staff are in attendance. We have Arts Liaison, Tourism Manager, Danae McGee. And I don't see anybody else. I thought I saw Ashish walking in just at, but maybe he was going someplace else. I thought he might be joining. But. Okay, the first topic is approval of tonight's agenda in order and content. So we need someone to make a motion if we are up for approving the agenda tonight.
I will motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, the motion is to approve tonight's agenda in order and content. Anybody have anything else they want to talk about before we vote? Okay, all those in favor of tonight's agenda in order and content, please raise your hand. Okay, I'm assuming Kylie, you're all those opposed? Okay.
Thumbs up.
Okay, great. Tonight's agenda is approved. Move forward. There are no other members from the public tonight, so I won't need to read attachment A. We have no special presentations tonight, so we can then just jump into the chair report. And so I know everybody's really sad when we blast through the agenda on a beautiful June. Yeah, let's move around. So first topic under the chair report is presentation to City Council. City Council wants to hear more from us. They have said that when we met with them back in last fall. That was mentioned again when we were trying to figure out the best way to stay in contact with them. There was an email they think that Danae Nick had shared with you that they want to hear more from boards and commissions. So we are planning to present to them on Tuesday, July 7th. I don't know the specific time slot yet. Will it be right in the beginning like it has been in the past? Okay. Great. So we had just a preliminary meeting to talk about like what do we want to share with them. And I think one of the things is from that study session that we all were at, we want to make sure we heard what they said. They want to hear about what we're doing. They definitely were interested in utility boxes. And then we also want to make sure we tell them one more thing. They also asked like how we're doing against the cultural plan. Right. So we want to make sure we're kind of responding to those things. So that's kind of how we're setting up the overall agenda. And then in addition, we want to make sure we plant the seed that it's really important, all this impact and this momentum that we have as a commission, we don't want to lose that. And that means we still need the support of the grant funding, which we can't guarantee is going to come from For Culture or anybody else. And we also, the utility boxes, we have a plan for that. There's things that we want to do to make sure that we have their overall support. So that's kind of the overarching goal of what we're trying to share. I know Danae was putting together just some initial slides for that based on really looking at the, we know the City Council has their vision and then they did a March update. we want to make sure we align with that. And then also we go back to the overall cultural plan and our cultural offsite that we had in November 2024, and just make sure we're moving along. And that, to address the question that council said, how are we doing against the plan? We want to be able to say, well, here's where we're doing well. And here's where here's what we still are working on. So that's kind of the overall direction. I'd encourage everybody to attend if they're able to on that day. Because this meeting on the 7th will be before our next meeting, what we can try to do is just, we're going to kind of walk through it here. And then we'll just be this is just the framework. We've just recently discussed it, but we'll just be, we're trying to be simple, get the point across, kind of a key messages to takeaways. So this will be refined between now and the 7th, but this is the overall direction, just to share with everybody. Okay. So I kind of gave the overview of like what we had talked about as far as wanting to make sure that we were responding to what City Council had said they were interested in, and they want the updates from us. We want to make sure we plant that we still need all the funding that we need, et cetera. So, which I know is what we'll be talking about here. So.
Okay, great. And I think, we use our strategic directions to help us stay on track and to find our North Star. But when you start really delving into all of the words and all of the specificity of it all, it can be overwhelming. So I think what we're going to mostly focus on are what our successes have been and what we're still working on. But for now, I'll just start by highlighting the strategic directions and what we've been doing in terms of success and what we're still working on. So under publicly demonstrating the importance of art, we've completed or in progress increasing the visibility of public art. That was one of our goals. We've completed Fire Station 42 and have a new piece of public art there. We just received approval from council to dedicate $80,000 for Cedar Grove Park for public art in that location. And then council also approved $10,000 to purchase fishing frog. Community awareness of the cultural plan. We want people to know that we have a cultural plan and we have it on our website. And hi, Anvita, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me okay? Can you give
Yeah,
a thumbs up that you can hear me?
I don't think my
I
mic
can't
is.
hear you.
Okay, let me.
I can actually hear her.
Thumbs up.
So I
Okay,
think,
all right. Good to see
Oh.
you.
yeah, I can hear Anvita fine. So
The answer just-
I wonder if
Yeah.
it's, yeah,
Um,
sure. Okay.
Another goal within this was community awareness of the cultural plan and just having that cultural plan in place, having it on our website, having communication with other staff has led to collaborative opportunities, which is where we're at right now with the Welcome to Our District project that we've been talking about Sheesh has been successful at, and so that's been really exciting. So that's another area of success. And then dedicated funding to support cultural events. We have funding from For Culture to do the Creative Arts Grant Program. And then marketing the arts. We now have new city communications team, and then we have our social media protocols that we're using when we're at events and activities. And then future priority includes to create artistic gateways at key entrances into the city. And we hope to do that through utility boxes. If we'll be asking council for funding to do that. And we'll start in Snohomish County, which is an area that Arts Commission and council would love to see more art. We're happy to say that Cedar Grove Park is in Snohomish County, so we're starting to tick off some of the goals there. And then we're in the very preliminary process right now of design and design improvements for the park at Bothell Landing. There is a 1% for the arts incorporated into that. The name of the company or the agency that's doing work on that is called Site Workshop. I encourage you to Google them. They have an incredible portfolio of work that they've done. They also are very diligent about hiring artists to be part of the design process. And there is an artist that's on board for Park at Bothell Landing. So at our September Arts Commission meeting, Hannah, the artist, will be here to present on the 50% design, and then the discussion about potential for public art, one of which is a gateway entrance piece that will be located right at 522 and Bothell Way. So there'll be a nice, wonderful piece there along with another entrance.
Quick question, if going back a slide as I'm chewing on all of this, excuse me, why are we bringing up public art as Fire Station 42? It's now 5 years old. It's been there a while. We've talked about it to council before.
Okay. This is all, we want your input, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And then this is the first time we had a kind of a discussion about the framework. And so, yeah, I mean,
No,
take
I
that
mean,
off,
it
no
just,
problem.
yeah, it just kind of stuck out to me as like
maybe it's older.
too old.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that off.
Thank you.
Also, Danae, I was just thinking this whole thing about the utility boxes. We haven't really, at one point, we were going to share that as part of the last presentation, but we didn't, right? The whole funding for, the whole proposal for asking council for the money to support the utility boxes. So they haven't seen that proposal yet, right? Or did it go in through some other city mechanism?
Well, they probably haven't seen it yet, is my guess. I think staff is, like our finance department is working to put everything together. What staff has presented so far is what we'd like to see new to our budgets. And so I've submitted $100,000 worth of requests, one of which is $50,000 for utility boxes. The other is $50,000 for more funding for our Creative Arts Grant Program. Now, whether that will even make it to council, we don't know at this point. It'll be discussed within our executive department lead, our department heads, and they will be refining the budget to move forward to council consideration. What's great is that with you presenting in July, you're putting it on their radar to know that, oh, this was something that was really a priority for them. And for them to be thinking about, well, did it make it to that point for them to see it and consider it is a good thing.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, so we can say you'll see this as part of, the overall proposal. I mean, I don't know when we want to share that proposal then based on kind of the overall budgeting
We won't
process.
show that. It's more just an internal staff area. So by saying we have requested for the 2027, 2028, and I can help you with the outline of things to say for that, but
Sure.
But what you'll say essentially is, we have requested for the 27, 2028 budget, $50,000 for utility box program of work or project or pilot program, something along those lines.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Moving on to nurturing and promoting our artist community. What we've recently completed or in progress of doing is creating an arts incubator program. And we started that with our Meet and Mingle yearly, twice a year event. And then we are working to build policies for pop-ups. This is a partnership with our economic development staff. Right now we have the pop-up shops on Main. There is an opening right now in one of the shops. And so Ashish and I have been talking about an opportunity to have a pop-up for an artist. So it could be maybe either their work or it could be some kind of a opportunity for a space for them to be working and doing like a residency. That other cities will do that. They'll have a space that they dedicate to artists for residencies. And then we also are interested in, talked about recognizing our artist community, and we are doing that through our Outstanding Artist Award program. One area that we will continue to work on for nurturing and promoting our artist community is renovating unused buildings to be live-work studio spaces for artists. This kind of goes in line with the pop-ups, but there is also another opportunity that I will be talking about during staff presentation in a little bit.
So I should shut up. I'll wait till you get through all of them because I have a question on. So there's clearly overlap on all of these. You may be talking about a topic in another one. So.
Regularly engaging and responding to our community. What's been completed or is in progress is upgrade city website content. So we now, if you go to the Arts Commission page, you now see 5 or 6 tabs along the sides. So as we grow and build on what we're doing, we're seeing more activity there. Expand current communication channels. City staff is, doing that, and then we're doing it through our marketing. So there is some crossover. But we won't be talking about the strategic, well, we won't go into detail. We'll just be able to synthesize what we've been working on and what we've done, are going to do. Regularly engaging and responding to our community. Future priority is identify and participate in key events in Bothell.
Did I miss a slide?
And then under developing a sustainable art infrastructure, what's been completed or in progress is mapping out where arts is in the community through our public art walking tour. Identify available spaces ripe for activation. We're doing that through Welcome to Our District. We will have a downtown public art plan and an artist roster. So this is really that great first step in developing something that is more long-lasting. Meet with businesses to enlist arts participation. That's also happening through Welcome to Our District. Present updates to City Council, obviously doing that. Directory of Local Artists, we're doing that through the partnership we have with East Side Artist Roster. And then for culture funding for operational support. And then future priority is develop citywide public art plan. So right now we're working on the downtown district. And the economic vitality plan is really building this notion of thinking about Bothell in districts, not just being one whole, which is very helpful from a staff standpoint, because you can kind of silo down and you can focus, where, trying to do a public art plan for all of Bothell seems daunting. But now that we've had an artist assist us in developing a public art plan for downtown and identifying locations for public art, we can do that again within another district, especially as we start to grow and evolve. And I don't know if you are familiar with Imagine Bothell, but that's our planning department. They do like a monthly newsletter called Imagine Bothell, and they're focused right now on Canyon Park and imagining what that could be from a community standpoint. And then implement an art-specific permit. We will be doing that through Welcome to Our District and through private development opportunities. So one of the goals through the development of the cultural plan was really to try to make things simple and streamlined and accessible for artists, so that they can do what they do best, not be bound down by permits. And so we're trying to make that as streamlined, as simple as possible. But there will have to be some kind of a permit process through the downtown public art plan, and because of what we're essentially hoping is that businesses will be working with artists to activate and use space for public art, temporary, but they still have to go through some kind of a city permit process to ensure that all the safety standards and signage requirements. But this is art, not signage, so we want to be able to have an art permit process, and we want to make that as simple as possible for them. And that's it for now. If there's anything that you want to see added, or if anything else you don't feel is relevant anymore, we can remove this.
And we just talked about this yesterday, so I wanted to thanks today for putting as much as you did on this. And we just kind of talked through the framework yesterday. The grant program, because I was looking for where that was, and obviously that's had tons of impact. So I didn't remember, was that on the first topic? Okay.
Yeah. And
then also just the impact, we talked about that, updating that slide that Holly had created before. I just wanted to make sure we don't lose sight of that. I also was thinking, I think just a lot of these things, like especially on this the future priority stuff, isn't as much that we're involved with. I think it's important up front to say that what we're talking about is that there's a great cohesion and collaboration with cross teams in overall, whether it be parks, planning, the economic issue, the economic. I just think that's super important, because we don't own a lot of these things, but I think that we are very appreciative and engaged with these teams, and it's great to feel like there's a lot of cohesiveness between, the things that are going on. So I think that it's important that we say something like that. Completely separate thing. Doors Open as a future priority. I feel like we talked about doing more with we know that there's funding for Doors Open, right? Not to us as an arts commission, but to artists in our area. And I think that could be a future priority that we may want to talk about as, we can list it in whatever bucket we think is important.
And it really is just for culture.
Okay.
What Doors Open is now.
Yeah, it's part of for culture, but we are at our meet and mingles. We are educating the individual artists that are coming to these meet and mingles about for culture funding through Doors Open. So that's kind of the avenue that we're currently doing that through.
Gotcha. Okay. And then and then we just will also mention that, we're looking to kind of take the next step as we look to the next cycle of, the next couple of years, kind of what our how we're going to kind of update our overall action plan. And so that we just want to make sure we'll say that as well.
After our meeting, I sent a message to Una and said, hey, we're ready for another retreat, maybe sometime in the fall. And she got back to me, but I haven't had a chance to read it.
That's fine. Yeah. And I think we are not ready. We're ready, but we're not ready. And fall is ready. Yeah.
Yeah. That's basically what we're talking. Yeah. And we don't need to mention names or anything, but just, hey, we're ready to, it's been a couple of years since we had our last retreat, and it'll be a good opportunity to come together again and really synthesize what our priorities are.
Yeah. Okay. So, obviously more things as we're looking at this. Danae, you could post this on our SharePoint site, maybe just as a working draft. And if anybody has other things, and even from that, our overall strategic directions chart, there may be some other things that come up that we want to put on the completed or on the future priority. So that's just something that we'll be looking at over the next week or so. Does anybody have any additional comments or thoughts after seeing what Danae has shared so far?
Not yet, but it would be nice to chew on it.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there going to be a call for creative grants this year, or is that next year? It's just.
We need to start that again soon, because we have the funding from For Culture for 3 years, and we combined 2 years together, but we since then have gotten notice that, we're going to have a third year of that same amount. Okay. So we have about $26,000 for the 2027 year. So very soon it'll be time to do the call again.
Okay.
And then we'll have
we timed the meet and mingle a couple weeks before the deadline, which worked really great.
Okay, so we'll need to do that again.
Yeah. For a month before, as long as it's before and not the day after. Yeah. And not 2 days.
We'll look at an overall schedule just between now and July 7th. I'm going to be traveling a little bit in a week or so. So but I'd like to get another version updated, and then we'll have a cutoff so that people will need to weigh in by a certain date in order for us to make any changes before
to the guidelines,
to the actual presentation that's shared at council.
Sorry. Okay, I thought we were talking about that. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'll put that in SharePoint on Monday.
Okay, that sounds great. Anybody have any other comments at this point? Can't see. Okay, I think so far so good. Okay, if we're good on that front, then the second thing on the chair report is chair, vice chair, secretary elections. So we are planning to do those in July, so at our next meeting. And what we thought we would do this time around, in the past, it's just kind of been open, like, who wants to nominate who? And we thought, maybe some people are interested and just maybe uncomfortable saying something, or, just maybe it's worked in different ways. So what we would like everybody to do is just write down, Danae is passing out paper, and do you want them to do it in the message to you, Danae, or separately? How do you want to do this with the online?
They can send it in the chat with me if they want, and if they don't, then they can just send me a separate email. But this is for next month. I don't know, you did say that.
Yes,
for next month.
Next month. But what we're asking you to complete right now is, please write down your name, and I am interested in volunteering to be one in the following positions, chair, vice chair, or secretary. I am not interested in being chair, vice chair, or secretary. Because what we just want to know is if you're interested, then what we will want to do at our next meeting is just, here's the list of people who said they'd be interested in doing chair, vice chair, secretary. And then people can, and we'll just, one thing I want to make sure is we'll go through the right process from a Bothell.
Like we always do.
Yeah, okay. So for doing that, but I just want to make sure everybody feels like they're open to whatever. I also, I want to say, I have been chair for a while. I have I'm like, I think if somebody else wants to step up to chair, I would be happy to help them and do that. So I don't feel I need to be chair again. I'm not saying I wouldn't be chair again, but I also don't want anybody to not vote for somebody else because they might think I might feel bad. And I'm not, I just want to make that clear now, just so I'm happy to support anybody if they think, hey, this could be kind of fun. I'd like to try that. So just make sure everybody knows that.
Yeah. So much, sorry.
It felt cool when we first came in. But
You?
A giant. Yes.
You? Thank you.
Okay. That's it on the chair report. Anybody have any questions? And everybody online okay? Okay. So next on the agenda, I believe it's new business. Is that right? Okay, new business. The consideration of the, I think it's the May, where's it?
May 21st.
Yeah, May 21st. Oh, yeah, meeting minutes. I have something here. Okay. So we just need somebody to make a motion to approve the May 21st meeting minutes.
I make a motion to approve. 21st minutes.
Oh,
I'll second it.
okay. The motion is to approve the May 21st meeting minutes. Anybody have any comments or anything they want to discuss regarding these meeting minutes? Okay. All of those in favor to approve the May 21st meeting minutes, please raise your hand. Okay,
Sorry,
great.
I was still
Anybody
typing out.
opposed?
Sorry. Oh, sorry. I was
There's a
still typing
question
out.
from Kylie.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Kylie?
Sorry, I was still typing out my.
Kylie, I don't know why. I don't.
Can you? Oh.
Let me see if I can. No, it's not my
See,
volume.
look at the top of the meeting. See. Yeah.
If you
Oh,
click on
that's
the
speaker.
speaker.
Yes.
Second one over.
Yeah, click that.
Well,
Turn on the weird
it's
Z's.
supposed to
Oh.
be. Yeah, it's
Because then it'll get.
to the
Right click on that, it should then show you which speaker to use.
You
So
right
then
click
you
on
can
that.
change your speaker.
Well, it's the room speaker.
Right, but I'm saying it's not connecting to the room speaker. So what I'm saying is that if you right click on it, you can then select a different speaker.
Yeah.
Echo feedback.
It looks like, Kylie, it looks like her.
Did you touch anything?
It's they're on mute. Kylie, now.
Can you hear me, Kylie? And you, okay, we just can't hear you. So unfortunately, you're going to have to use your chat to speak to us
Okay,
because
no
I don't know. Oh, now we can hear you.
Really? Okay. Yeah. All I was saying before is I missed who approved and seconded because I was still writing out my stuff for the election.
Oh, okay.
That was all.
It was, for the minutes, it was AC, and seconded by Nikita.
Okay, great, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. I think I can stop sharing my
Well, I
screen.
can use this one here too. So the next topic on our agenda is old business, the strategic plan calendar and assignment update. So if we could just briefly go through each of the areas, and if the lead one takes, just kind of tell us if there's anything new for the full commission to hear about.
Yeah, so I'll
sorry.
go. I am working on a draft of essentially, not a spreadsheet, but essentially, I wanted to do a sign up sheet for events and have people cover regions for social, for just essentially, we talked about creating a photo library before for marketing purposes. And I think if we can kind of source who can attend what events, in what areas around town, and have an ongoing list and just a sign up sheet so we can know who's covering what when there are events. So I'm doing a first draft of that and I need to send it to my team and we'll have a meeting, but and then I'll put it in layout and everything. But that's where we're at right now. So I'm sort of expanding it slightly into more marketing and less social too, because I just want to have like a depository of photos and stuff from all of our things so that we can use them for these PowerPoint presentations and stuff. So it's shifted slightly, but still covers the same basis. So hopefully next meeting, we'll have a final draft. And then a sign up sheet. I don't look like a Google sheet or like an Excel is better for that, but.
And you're saying for among the commission
Yes,
members, gotcha.
yes, exactly. Or if you're like, your friend's really into jazz and they're going to a thing, like maybe task them to take photos, but you
Yeah.
could sign up for that. But
Mhm.
that's too in the weeds.
And then where will all those, where will the images live?
On the SharePoint, I assumed, and then
Yeah.
everybody can access.
Yeah, I'll add a photo
Thank you.
folder.
But this is to share with the community, right? On social media?
Yes and no. So essentially, I'm trying to develop more guidelines and like processes and less of like, it's not just posting. So just covering bases, knowing who's where and covering what events. And then the posting, the protocols we already have written out for social, but I want to be a little bit more specific. Okay, if you attend event, here's 3 things you can do and just give it a little bit more of so nobody has to really think through it. They can just go, oh, I know what to do. I just gotta, boop. So I want to write this, like, be a little bit more explicit on.
Yeah, I got that. I'm asking like after we take the photo pictures, then where are we sharing that? What are we doing?
Uploading them to the SharePoint.
And
But as far as, I mean, they're social, but then also we've talked about this and Danae started working on this where if you want to see more about events that have happened, we have this repository of these different events. And when we were at the meet and mingle, the first one, I wasn't at the second one, but the first one, there was a rotating slides kind of showing everything that was going on. And so, which I was like, oh my God, this is great.
Yeah.
There's this, we shouldn't lose this. And people should realize all these different things that have happened and demonstrating the importance of art and having some sort of connection, even on our website, the city site, to say, here's all the different things we do to support art in our community. And here are all the upcoming things, which is already there too, right? So,
so that SharePoint will be accessed by the public or just?
no, but that's where we would gather content assets that then could be used for putting a PowerPoint presentation together, or somebody can post on social. But for those of us that don't do a ton of social posting, but might be going to a lot of these different things, there's a place where we can actually put this content so that it can be used for whoever wants to go. Like when AC was at her performance, any of us could.
So you were able to use a photo.
Right.
If you had a bunch of those in a repository, it would be easier for you to just.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And then keeping track of like when our art grant recipients do their final reporting so that they can receive their payment for their work. We require them to do a final report. And in that final report, we ask them questions like, how many people attended your event? And tell us about your budget and how much was spent. And then we can use data like that to turn around and say, of the people that went to this event, that generated X amount of economic development in the Bothell community. Does that make sense? Are you asking about
I'm just
SharePoint?
asking what is the purpose of the
We don't have any process right now of collecting photos for many of these events. We don't have any process for.
I get, yeah.
So this
So
is
we have
literally
got the
just.
photos.
Yes.
Then are we telling the public that this is what the city has done in the terms of art, or are we just keeping it to ourselves to share at some other point in one of our events, kind of?
Both. When we present to council, we gave them a breakdown of how many events we did and how many artists were served and how many people attended those events between the years of 2024, 2023, and 2025 was the last time we did it. And so now we're starting to accumulate that kind of information for 2026. And then we can present that to council so that they know the impact. When I write grants to For Culture, they require that kind of information, how many people were served. And so I have to
Okay, so
include that
that's what-
information.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
also, like, and I know there's the overview of here's what's coming up, and that's clear on the website. I don't know if we have this, but I remember seeing it on Renton's. It's like, here's some example, like even like on the grant program, here's some examples of past grant recipients. So we could easily have something like that
Yeah.
with a link to this content as well. So I think that's what we want to do is like, oh, wow, these guys, they're not just like saying this, they actually really have done all this
Exactly.
stuff.
So say in like 2 years, we're like, oh my gosh, we have our own website now. And we have we're highlighting all of our past grant recipients for the last 10 years or whatever,
Right.
last 5 years. But we didn't have, but if we didn't have photos from anybody from even the 3 years before we did the website, it wouldn't matter because we couldn't show anything. So this way, at least we have them collected and we have an archive that we can use for marketing materials, social media posts. I like the concept that if somebody doesn't want to post on social on their personal account, someone else who might want to can access that folder and still highlight that event too. So it just gives us a resource of materials to use
Yeah,
for all
that was
sorts
my
of things.
question, like, what are we doing? with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, well, and one of the things is, when, like, way back when the cultural plan was developed, one of the key things was, you need to market this. If you can do all this stuff and you're not
Yeah.
marketing, then why, it's like
There's
nothing.
no, nothing, right, exactly, yeah.
But then for a very long time, we didn't have a lot to market, and then also we didn't have anybody to market it for us, right? Because we're all independent, like, we're all volunteers. Now there are more marketing people in the city's staff to help us do that. So and we're doing a lot more, so that it's like, you gotta take advantage of that.
Do you have a question,
Yeah,
Anshee?
I just want to add this, when you do the pictures, Bob might be helpful, just maybe I'll write a caption about the picture.
That is a great
So
idea.
then like, say we come back 4 years later and it's
Yeah.
like, what's the
That is,
picture?
yeah, 100%. And we can also add, I can set up tagging as well, so we can
Yeah.
add like dated events and stuff and types of things. That is.
It would
a
also
great idea.
be-
Thank you.
Yeah, really good for like e-readers too, because then we already have the tagging.
Yeah.
This is just a requirement now. There's some
For
federal-
accessibility.
There's state and federal laws now about accessibility, so it would be really nice if that caption could also double as it's alt text.
Yeah, totally. That's a great idea.
And then
Okay,
it's
we
just
have
good
it
to
done.
go.
Yeah, awesome. Amazing. Okay, perfect. We'll add that to the guide.
While you're doing that, is there anything else under publicly demonstrating the importance of art that somebody wants to bring up? Oops. The next, so the meet and mingle November, will there be another one during fourth?
Well, we'll want one in the fall and we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it'll be autumn, spring and autumn. roughly.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Um,
I think we're ready to go on to nurturing
Okay,
and
all right.
promoting.
Great. So nurturing and promoting our arts community. AC, do you want to give us an update there?
outstanding artist recognition, so this is the first year that we'll be doing that. And I got an email and I went to the thing and I found the information, the announcement.
Good,
It's like and it clicked to the form. So
great.
good. I think we've got till July.
The deadline is July. I was going to give a brief update on that from a staff standpoint
Okay.
too, so I can go over that in a minute.
Okay, so that we're doing for the first year. Featured artist. I'm not sure how we're doing that. Are we selecting that from someone that's,
We're, right now, we're doing that through Begin at Bothell. So we'll have a spotlight feature on an artist. So if we have, like, for instance, we did that for AC when she was doing her event. And we highlighted the artist. And so we haven't done it for a little while. We've been really focused on World Cup. So starting soon, we'll probably do another spotlight for one of our artists and then from the Creative Arts Grant Award Program. And then the city will share that information through their social
Yeah.
channels as well.
a couple times a year?
Is it only from the creative arts? Because I remember we discussed about the spotlight for the artists that are showcasing in the.
We did that for Lauren Ida. So yes, we can do it for the gallery as well.
galleries.
It doesn't have to just be for the creative arts grant. Thank you. You're right.
Wheeler Art Gallery ongoing.
I think maybe you were going to talk a little bit about the touring of the black
Black
box.
boxes, yeah.
Is there anything Nikita wants to mention, just since I'm going across there, just on is there anything on the little art gallery?
No, I think we need to like kind of share more on in the Bothell community.
Yeah,
Or at least the city can.
it'd be great if somebody could do that through their social posts because the city is really busy right now and they're very focused on certain things. And, you know, I was just happy to see the Outstanding Artist Award. We did a social post for it, but we've got so much going on. So if that could be something
Because the summer is starting now, so like people are more, they need things to do with their kids and stuff.
yeah.
So this would be a good time to actually.
I know you announced it through your social
I've done it, like,
channels.
Twice already.
Would you want to do it again now that the summer's here and kind of a reminder? Would that be possible?
Is there ever anything that happens? I notice things that happen, and it's always too late when they've got the tents up and there's a recycle fair or something like that. Is the city hall open and could people walk in like when we have those events?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
That was just a
Yeah.
possibility.
Yeah.
Doing, for the like the football matches? Are they doing during the days where they're doing like the event? I know that they say come to town hall and find stuff. Will the doors be open at that time? Cause I was thinking I could make some little footballs to put in the case, and maybe that could be cute. Like, I know during I was reading the football thing today and it was saying. like,
For World Cup?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
So that, the city hall, like come to city hall to get information about the stuff that's going on. So that will be open during those days where people might be doing that. So we could add some little soccer art in there to give it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then-
If City
and then
Hall's
we do a
open,
Post that's like, come get one of
Make it
these
more
while you're doing that,
newsworthy.
and connect it to the posts about, the city's already posted with people. So like I could do that.
Yeah,
and kinda tie it in,
absolutely.
And then that way it's connected.
yeah,
Cool.
I would also say for art socials, like there are a lot of arts events for kids that are happening in the summer in downtown Bothell. It'd
Yes.
be really great if the Arts Commission actually,
Compiled like a poster.
well, I mean, there are posters around. They're posted in every park. They're on sandwich boards in like every park. But I feel like it should also, there's the what is it, Peter and the Wolf? They're doing a performance of it at the library later this summer. They do like 4 concerts in a row, and they're in the middle of the day, like July and August down at Bothell Landing. My kids loved it. We've been doing it for years, so I'm kind of like, it would be nice for us to also promote like as an art commissioner, because I know the city's doing it, but
Do you remember we had that whole conversation about at Begin in Bothell and that calendar, like, is there a way to build at like,
yeah.
kind of build on something that's already existing, so we don't have multiple calendars, we're
Mhm.
just, and we don't own a lot of these different art events, but is there a kind of a, like, hey, let us know,
Clearinghouse.
right, yeah, is there a place where people just like a one-stop for
we,
things that are
it's
going
part
on?
of it. It's listed in the cultural plan. It's not something that the city has the capacity to do at this point in time. Another goal was to start having like a Arts Commission newsletter that we could do and
Right.
include those kinds of things, but there's just not the staff capacity at this point to do that. We are promoting all of the Creative Art Grant Award recipient activities because they're partially funded through us. Peter and the Wolf is one of our concerts that we are promoting because it's one of our grant recipients. So that's something that we can do. As for the, separate nonprofit or for-profit arts organizations, we can't promote those. Unfortunately, it's just not something that the city can do. Because if we do it for them, then it becomes, well, what about my, my event, some other event that's not related to the arts. So it's just something that we don't.
But
can't
part
do.
of the social guidelines could be if you personally want to promote those types of
Absolutely.
events, and
Yeah.
that then that
Yeah.
could be part of the protocol. Okay.
I think this is confusing, but like, what's the status of our social media? Cause like, are we going?
No. It's
Saying that commission, we are.
yeah, it's they have their own comms team now, so us representing as like our own individual brand, which is, it kind of concerned the legal side a little bit, so we're just
How do we do it right now?
use your own private social
personal
account. So,
Personal.
or like you could make your own account that's like
You can't say that.
art
you're not
lover
personal.
Bothell or whatever and post from that, but.
Is there any process for us to get one working, or is it just like a right now, it's a little too complicated?
It's
Yeah.
too complicated. We've tried, but
Yeah.
we aren't.
But like, what's holding that up? Cause like, if we want to like, maybe just do a volunteer on like, then I could like maybe like once a month, just write stuff up and give it to you. How would that sort of work?
Well, you could submit anything to me that you'd like. And I, as staff, could submit it to the communications team. If it's something that is related to the city or the Arts Commission, then it could be considered for publication through the city channels. But if it's not related, like if it's a school function, then that's not something we'd be able to promote. But if you wanted to do it on your own social channels, you could do that. But there's also certain, on the SharePoint, there's information that the city has provided for our boards and commissions on how to represent yourself, as a member of a board or commission. So you can review that information in SharePoint. And I can show it to you if you can't find it. And we can make sure that you see that and learn about how to do that.
I mean, one thing that I think what you bring up is a really great point regarding an ongoing newsletter. We've had this and like, that would be a great thing to do because who just always automatically goes to check out the website all the time. I've also, Jen Alders has a weekly newsletter. How do we make sure that we tag on to
Yeah.
what the council members' communications? Because there are people obviously that are already following those. So I think it's worth exploring more. And so I think maybe we look at, is this something that a couple people want to kind of tackle and come back and say, this is how we could do it. And maybe it's, the content is provided by a couple of people on a subcommittee of the Arts Commission, but then it goes to the marketing team. But of course, before anybody would do anything, it's like, how, are you guys open to this? There's a template, an overall look and feel to it already created. Most of the content would come from the subcommittee of the Arts Commission, and it would go out quarterly or every other 6 months, or whatever initially. But would the marketing team be open to that? What's our mailing list look like, right? Is it even a big enough
I
mailing
think
list?
this is a really great conversation and a very deep conversation to have. And I think that the nurturing and promoting our artist community is working toward that. So I think we can let them continue kind of moving in that
Are you working on a
direction.
newsletter?
Not a newsletter,
No,
I like that. I think we should do, that's a great idea.
You can go on as a tab.
Well, I
in the
think-
art
yeah,
I think it's also important that we just start simply and because we've been
Yeah.
struggling just to
Yes.
get this initial part.
To be honest, like social media is great, but social media numbers have been trending down. I honestly think that the time and effort into what you're doing, and I don't want to negate the work you've been doing, but I think honestly switching gears into a newsletter,
That's why I
Like-
switched to the collecting photo thing as part of it for the
Yeah,
exact reason.
because I
so.
think that that's a better way to actually, there's, great, we can do it from our own, but if you don't have the following the way the
Then it-
city
exactly.
does, it's kind of for nothing. But if we can send an email that contains our newsletter, if we can post our newsletter online, then that's gonna have a further reach.
What I'm wondering is if I designed it and we collected the content, could we have the city review it and approve or deny? And because then that would take a lot of the burden and work off them. And if we do it, like I could follow their.
Again, it's just that situation where we don't have a policy and a format in place. So if we're doing it on our own, well, what does that mean for the other boards and commissions?
I'm wondering if
And
we send it through, doesn't the arts have, like, we have a mailing list and stuff specifically for that, right? Not the.
we have an artist mailing list, the East Side Artist Roster List that
Okay,
we
but it's
use.
not- we don't have like a, because I thought, I guess maybe we just follow
I mean,
city news, but I thought there's sort of a way to follow specifically more like.
So the city's just recently gone from a once a month e-newsletter to twice a month. So that's an improvement. We're starting to see a uptick
Yeah.
there, and that includes certain activities like the Outstanding Artist Award was just promoted
Mhm.
there. So
Little square, just a quarter. little.
Yeah, I know, like the artist corner.
Just a little-
The Bothell Arts
Well,
Commission
if-
corner, link here.
I mean, it is a bigger discussion about the structure, but if there is say a
Yeah.
space for that, and they click to the Bothell
Exactly.
e-news, and it goes to, but again, that's just, it's a new initiative.
Yeah, it'd be like, we make a
Right.
microsite and they link to that
Right.
microsite in the newsletter. We're responsible for updating the microsite or something like that. But yeah, this is, I feel like we're,
Right.
yes, let's focus on this.
I also don't want us to spend a lot of time on something where we're just spinning our wheels. and
Yeah.
Never really going.
Exactly.
So I mean, we aren't gonna solve it here. It's a
No.
really healthy
Right.
discussion,
It's a
and I
long
think
discussion.
we don't wanna lose sight of it. And it covers, it's nurturing and promoting artist community. It's also regularly engaging with and responding to our community by telling them about these different things too, right? So there's quite a few of these, and it's also publicly demonstrating the importance of art. But I feel like we can decide where it should live, but we need to make this as an action point to kind of explore it further. A group of people should decide that they're
Yeah.
like, to tackle a little further.
And I'm happy to meet with your committee at any time and we can just kind of really sit down and go through the whole process and,
Yeah.
and not to negate the importance of the full group, but, I think that if the committee could just really focus on it
I
and
was thinking
hearing
even
more.
a subcommittee.
Well, that's what I-
Yeah, and then meet separately first.
Right.
And then
Like,
figure
I
something
think,
out. Yeah.
and Chi, I think you brought this up. I think it'd
Yeah.
be great to get just just that topic alone. What are the ways that this could work and kind
Yeah.
of feed into it feeds into a lot of these different
Totally.
priorities.
Kylie has a question.
Oh, sure, Kylie?
Sorry, I feel like every time since I'm online, I don't want to interrupt the conversation flow. But yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like, you going back to if we were to have, in the Bothell, like, overall newsletter, if we had like our, it could just be our like section every time. It doesn't have to be like really long. And we could just test that out, and see if like, it looks good there, if like we feel like it's, useful to us, if it's giving us any like traction, anything like that. But also kind of the good thing is, I agree, it kind of fits into publicly demonstrating and nurturing and promoting. And our lead is different, but it's the four same people. So if we wanted to, I believe, yeah. So if we wanted to do a like meeting to talk about it, I think it could fit under both. And with our new with this photo SharePoint, we can also like add a photo and have the writing or the text, as in like a little bit explaining like what the event was or which artist we're spotlighting, whatever it is. And I think that it's hopefully small enough of a project that we can kind of try it a couple times and then see if we feel like it's worth our efforts. Because yeah, we've had kind of a long road with our marketing and social media, and I think this is a good place to kind of start.
The council member, I think Jen or Jenny, in her newsletter, she seems like she's very supportive of the arts. She might be open to us asking if we could have a little section in her newsletter too. And that way it wouldn't have to go through all those routes, but we could still, and she seems very excited about it. And she said like we could send her anything she wants to put in there.
Right.
So I feel like if we had an official branded little thing that's easy for her to pop into her email.
Yeah,
Then
or
she sent it out.
in this somehow just
Yeah.
even, like the one highlight that goes into the city's
Yeah.
email.
Yeah.
It could be both, but
Exactly.
then it could link back to more expanded content
Yes,
someplace.
yeah,
right?
so I feel like we have a few paths. So yeah, so let's meet. That's a great idea, Kylie.
The only thing I throw out though is I think I would, I feel like, let's make sure, because we
Yes.
have new, Tanya's another person, whatever. I feel like there's like, maybe we have some subcommittees that involve some new people and
100%.
not, so maybe, but you can only have 4. So maybe somebody isn't on all parts of
I
it.
don't-
Maybe it's part of the group, but not part of the group. That's all I'm just saying. So I just want to make sure there's lots that we have, it's not all falling on 4 people.
Yes,
That's all.
that would be.
The same 4 people. I'll say that. So let's leave it at this for now. If you're interested in working on this topic, why don't you email Danae and I, then we'll kind of form a subcommittee to kind of tackle the next steps on it. Okay? Okay, so with
think
that.
we're-
I was gonna talk about the black.
Oh, yeah, just, I'll start with the free little library. Yeah, okay.
I've started by identifying 2 black boxes that would be good to tour. One is the 12th Avenue Arts. They have 3 different venues, movable seating. It's newish. They have a couple of windows of time and then there's dance rehearsals all day. the thought is, because it's kind of a pain to park, that we would take a Bothell van during the day and go over there sometime after 10 a.m. Rather than an evening thing, because so the 3 days that, I think this is what, June 30th, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, June 30th, July 1st, or July 2nd. And Danae, I don't know how your schedule is, because you have to be an official Bothell person. And if anybody else, you think anybody else from the city of Bothell
And is
would
there,
be appropriate and interested?
and is there a limit to the number of people because of the whole,
The van.
you have more than?
In a van, oh.
No, just, more like because of like, it has to be, enough.
We can turn it into a meeting,
Okay.
that's fine,
Okay.
if
Okay.
there's enough people that are available and interested in going. I thought though that we had decided that we couldn't do it before July 4th, because staff is so busy. We were hoping that Nick remember, we were hoping that Nick and Aaron could join us, or was that only one of the black boxes that we were looking at? I was trying to find your text that you sent me. But, go on, I apologize. Did you send me information, Doug, on this phone?
Possible dates for daytime, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday tour, 12th Avenue Arts. June 30th, July 1st or 2nd. Then the space is being used for dance rehearsals for the next 5 weeks. So no tours, because they're actually in the space jumping around. If it's not that, then we would delay it to probably September. Late August or September. I said 5 weeks.
I don't think that, I think we were kind of hoping that Aaron and Nick could see it, and I know that they're not available until after the 4th.
Okay.
So,
Should I ask? I can ask about the week of August. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, August 11, 12, or 13, or 18, 19, 20. I can ask them about those dates and
okay,
see if they're available.
okay.
And so once you know
I
that,
don't know if he's going on vacation too. Let me find his email.
so maybe what we can do, since it's kind of not yet firmed as far as dates, once you know that, then maybe something can go out to the commission via email, and anybody that's interested can then respond to be part of it. Yeah. Does that make sense, AC?
Sorry, I was looking for his.
Okay,
Email.
possibilities for daytime.
July 6th. This is going on leave August 15th. Maybe there's something before August 15th.
Oh, yeah, you said the 11th, 12th, 13th is what you said.
I'll ask them about that.
Now, if you want to do it without Nick and Aaron, we could stick to those dates if we have enough people, and then we could try, maybe there was another location you were looking at too for a
Edmund.
tour.
Yeah.
So maybe we could take them to Edmonds on another date. So we could still move forward with trying to, if we think we have enough people that would be available on those 3 dates that you just mentioned.
What kind of time commitment?
Well, it's in Seattle, so it'd be an hour
An hour
there,
there, an hour toward.
3 hour.
Okay, and well, I would be interested, and I could do it on the 2nd. On the 1st, I have something until noon, so that's why I was just trying to understand, if you're talking morning or afternoon or whatever.
And if we needed to use a van, it may not even be available because all the vans will be used in preparation for the parade, but I'll find out. I'll look into it and see. But if we only have a couple people going, then we can just take my car.
We could
whatever.
carve, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And I would like to say, I mean, I would be happy to have you guys come to Hutchinson Hall and look at our black box.
Yeah.
We have a camp running in July, but there's hours before and hours after. Please, like, come
Okay.
and take a look.
Okay. I just wanted to pick two to start, two that I know
Yeah.
that have movable seating. So,
And we also have two with removable seating.
Yeah.
Because we just have riser seating.
so
Okay, so let us know, yeah.
do we think July 1st would work?
Uh, uh, How's everybody
It's a
feel about that?
daytime
That's
thing.
interesting, right? When do you start your job?
I'll be on a horse.
Okay.
There's no horse parking.
Darn.
Who is really interested in going but who can't be available? So, okay,
I mean,
But I could, I mean, if there's other opportunities,
Yeah,
it sounds
you
like,
have to-
you know, I could join the next one, so do
I
not
have to
stop.
say, I mean, 12th Avenue Arts was being built when I was in graduate school. I saw it when it was in
Yeah.
construction. I've been to numerous things there. I feel like I'm comfortable talking about the pros and cons about it. So I wish I could go. I can't, but I've been there.
Okay.
It's a great example.
Yeah.
It's a
And
great example of what a city could do with.
yeah, I'd say, I think it'd be fun if it could be like, say, July 1st or 2nd. The 2nd would be better, but,
I could do the second.
you can?
Yeah.
Okay.
is
July
July
2nd.
2nd better?
Yeah, the Thursday, I'm open the whole day on the 2nd. The first is where I have a conflict, but the 2nd would work, especially holiday.
Yes, I
And
will
what I was just thinking is, it would be great to even include it is if there's a snippet to say to the city council on the 7th, right? Well, we even did this and we're this, just plant a seed.
And this is like a really great sort of fact finding. I want to kind of keep a database of, square foot,
Mhm,
what's the capacity,
mhm,
what's the size of the ceiling, how many seats, how flexible,
mhm.
just all that stuff.
Okay.
Um,
All right, so we'll,
Just to
I'll
guide.
I'll tentatively look at July 2nd. I'll look into a van. Once I have confirmation, on that, I will send out an email to the full commission. So those that aren't here today can also let me know if they're available to do it, during the day.
Great.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody, any comments from, or availability from
Kylie,
from
you're in with
online?
that?
Sorry. I can't see. No, okay,
Okay. Gotcha.
okay.
All right.
I'll check in with my, oh wait, can you guys not hear me?
We
Yes,
can hear you.
Yeah, just can't
Okay,
see you.
perfect. I'll check in with my mom to see, and I would really love to come.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you there.
Okay, the other, possibility is the Edmonds College Black Box.
Mm.
I think it's technically in Linwood, but it's near the Swedish, Linwood. And, their availability. Just want to be sure I'm not confusing these two. Um. let's see. This week. So they have a group using the theater, but we can still see it. We just can't linger in the space. We can talk in the lobby. So they're probably like rehearsing, but not like dancing around. And so I'm thinking 6 or 7 PM. And ideally that would be, so this week is not available, but starting next week. It says starting next week, so. Is there a time? Let's see.
It'd be really great if we could see if Nick and Aaron could come, because the area that I'm thinking about is Park at Bothell Landing and the Lytle House that's going to be redone, and giving them that opportunity to see what potentially could be done from a granting program. Well, it's not the current one. They're gonna be redoing it. They're gonna be taking it down and rebuilding a new one, but that's a community space. And so for them to have kind of an understanding of what a black box is, and how there's potential there to collaborate when we're still in the design phase, so they could see that, and then we could potentially, that's why Maya would then come to a meeting to talk to us about grant opportunities in October.
Right.
So if they could come to one of these tours, that would be
So do you think
great.
it would be better for them during the daytime?
Absolutely.
Okay, because they're.
But they
the-
can't do
the
anything
Edmonds one
before
is
the
gonna be-
4th.
Okay,
there's just no
Okay,
way.
so
So,
Let me just see what,
and I can look into it too, AC. I'm sorry, I don't
no.
want to put too much
no,
pressure on
we'll
you.
just get some more times. Later, see what weeks are open, July
Okay.
and August.
That'd be great.
So on that note, with that added information, I would then encourage you to put Hutchinson Hall back on the list because our black boxes were not black boxes.
Yeah.
There was like a gym and
Right.
other rooms, and then they
Yeah.
have been created to be black boxes, so, that's
So
the
who was
thing.
the person that would be,
Me.
you, okay, well.
That's easy.
Can you,
Me, I will work with, our building coordinator to find a time
okay,
that works around the camp schedule. I am off for a month.
uh-huh,
I can send this information to you,
Okay.
but
that
I
would be
mean, we
great.
can do it between now and like July 15th, or we can do it after, and then if we did do it a little bit later, if some
Yeah.
of these are getting pushed out,
Yeah,
then all the camps will be over, but school won't have started, and
Yeah.
it'll be like free reign.
right. Yeah, so it's looking like more like July, August,
Okay,
which is
So,
fine.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like during
Yeah.
the summer. So
I
if
can
you
then
can
show you the
connect
old
me,
swimming pool, that's now the design.
oh, I know. I used to be there for gymnastics when I was 9 years old.
Oh, really? Wow.
And it's the drama library is still in the little space downstairs.
It'll be on this time of.
Yes.
Okay. You'll probably be won't be at the July Arts Commission meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I'll ask for July list. And should I see if they have daytimes also? Right now it's only evenings, but for Nick.
Daytime would be ideal.
Okay,
Yeah, that'd be great.
So it sounds like the timing works too, just with schools up being out and that kind of stuff too.
yeah, and for Edmonds, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll see what they say.
Great.
But,
Okay.
I'll try to get in that window of time. And then Maya Santos, who's the director of the Building for Equity Program, which does, I want to say, major grants for
Yeah,
acquiring,
exactly.
building. She's going to give a presentation at the October meeting. Remotely.
Thank you so much, AC. That's fantastic. Yeah, I hope so. So we'll start having conversations with Nick about that.
Yeah, I had not had a specific space in mind, but I do want to keep an open mind about where a space could go. And I know that on Building for Culture, you do have to specify if it's arts or something else. I mean, I'm thinking in my mind, we're phrasing it a community gathering space, so people don't think it's just for the arts, but multi-purpose.
But if you write arts and community, then.
Yeah.
Well, right, so Maya will tell us because you have to select a category.
And who is Maya? Where is she? I'm
Maya is for culture. She's the
Okay.
director of the Building for Equity program.
sorry.
And it's as a percentage of your overall budget that they, those are the parameters. It's on their website, but she will give a presentation. She can answer questions.
Perfect.
And we can start learning about it.
Thank you so much for organizing this.
Yeah.
Great.
Great. Thank you, AC.
Okay, so I'll get back to you. The one that's for sure is Maya in October.
There we go. That's awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so I think we can jump the next, Hillary, do you have any updates on the third section?
No updates. I feel the other thing is that, okay, granted, my day job work has been crazy, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but also we have so many things going on. Where do we really have the room? Like, the number one thing I would like to plug into, honestly, is like, could we have a little art project, like a make and take at the firehouse in October? Other than that, I'm like, I don't know, like, are we shoving ourselves in the right place? Are we like, I've thought more about this. I don't know. I will get the list. I will get the list to you. I will make sure I do it, but I'm also like, is it always the right place? Like 4th of July? You sent me the list and I had combined it with my list, and then I swear I sent it to you, but.
No.
Okay, I will send it again. But I just, like, is it worth our time to be at the 4th of July, or are people just going to go and watch the parade and then leave? Like, I think that it would, I want to do this, I want to see how we can plug in and bring arts into some of these other events, and which events are the right ones. I've thought more about it.
Okay, well, I think that is the question, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, no, don't just think that every event is where it makes sense, because
Right.
there's way too much going on. Even the summer nights where we tried to have presence, I mean, it's like, some people might, I think we were passing on information about the grant program. Maybe some people were affected by it, but yeah, it's like, what kind of bang are you gonna get for all the effort, right? So, but I think what would be great is for that group to just come back and say, here's what we did, we explored it, and to be honest, we think it's the fire station event. I mean, just like conclude that.
Fire station and like the summer,
Yeah.
the summer kids concerts.
Yeah, or
I think
whatever.
were
I mean,
the top
what-
two.
and so I would just say, just come back to the full group with kind of your assessment.
Yep.
Okay. The last one then, developing a sustainable arts infrastructure. We are pretty much the first one we've done. Second one, we are implementing some of that as part of the what we just shared with council last month, I think it was. And then we are going to do the update in July. So
This actually reminds me, is that several months ago, right before you went on a trip, and I think right before all my work stuff happened, so you and I had talked about, and I had showed you how I'm collecting data.
right.
And how I'm developing audiences. And that we were going to kind of brainstorm ways of doing this for some of the events.
Mhm.
So that we can capture more of who is coming, so that that further, solidifies the good work that we are doing in that. So this reminds me of that we said you and I were going to sit down and talk more about how to collect data.
Right.
Or maybe survey in which to get this.
So why don't we make that as an action item for
Okay.
now, and then we can say, as we I feel like, we're kind of crossing off a lot of things and getting things done. I feel like we kind of need to start working on the next boxes, right? And
Yeah.
so why can we just make that as an action item? And are you keeping track of the action items? We'll make a note of it, but just
Yep.
we have the one about the subcommittee for the newsletter topic, also for us to look at kind of analyzing data. I think it just how we do that, knowing that it's not all coming from a centralized source when you have these different grant recipients kind of doing this. So I don't know, maybe there's an option there, but
There are.
analytics, okay.
Yep.
So that's an action item for us. Okay, that sounds good. So with that, I think we can move, unless somebody else has something else to say about anything on the chart here, I think we can move on. The next topic on old business is the Outstanding Artist Award. And is there any update? Who was it? Am I looking at an old thing? I might be. No, that's it.
Yeah, I just wanted to give just a brief addition to what AC mentioned, was that last week, the city did social posts for the Outstanding Artist Award. This week, there are announcements in the city's bi-monthly e-newsletter. We've received one application so far, so I'm hoping that the marketing efforts that have started will make a difference. The deadline to nominate is July 20th. If you know of someone that has deep ties to Bothell's arts community, feel free to nominate them. Just because you're on the Arts Commission doesn't mean you can't nominate someone else. So I encourage you to do that. Or if you know someone who is deeply involved in the arts community and you think they know of someone that should be nominated, please encourage, talk to them as well. And that's it for the Outstanding Artist Award.
What's the deadline on that?
July 20th.
Okay. Okay, so then if we have nothing else under old business, we can jump into staff report.
All right, so update for welcome to our district. As you know, and she is the economic development coordinator at the city. He wrote a grant to the port, and he is doing, and I'm working with him on welcome to our district. We're also working with the Chamber of Commerce and University of Bothell, Washington, or University of Washington, Bothell. University of Washington at Bothell. It includes artwork activation for World Cup, an evergreen, so an ongoing downtown public art plan, and a roster of artists for ongoing business and even Arts Commission implementation if funding permits. The call for the artist roster is now live on the cafe platform. So if you know of an artist, a visual artist that would be interested in being on the roster, please encourage them to apply. They can learn more and apply on the city's Arts Commission page under artist opportunities. And the deadline to apply is July 31st. So phase one, so the grant award from the port not only includes the plan and the roster, but also has funding for actual activation. So we are in the process of doing some temporary public art opportunity in our downtown area. So we're doing vinyl window art. We'll be potentially doing panel vinyl art for ongoing activation. So that's something that we'll be able to do after the fact because the panel will be there. We've got ground art stickers with QR codes. We've got pole banner art now that is on Bothell, 522 and Bothell Way and Main Street, and then all up Main Street. So please take a look at those. The artist is Stevie Sheo. The total budget for art activation is about $65,000. So we are getting where the next project for art implementation is hiring an artist to do vinyl wraps on the Banner Bank. So they have that great corner location. So we'll be putting art on those windows. And then there's another window that they have that they keep covered right now. And they're interested in using the same artist out of their own budget to do something on that window. So it's a great partnership opportunity. Bali the Otter and Stevie's banners and street stickers are now in place. So please take a look. The QR code leads you to a chat bot, and that chat bot asks you questions like, how may I help you? Where would you like to watch a World Cup watch party game? Or where would you like to go to have sushi or Mexican food or whatever. So everything that you would want to know as a resident or visitor is listed there. So
What's the time? How long will these be visible and like up for people to use?
well, we wanted the banners to be more evergreen, so we didn't include the soccer ball on those. So those can be up for a longer period of time. The street stickers has the soccer ball on them, and they're designed to last anywhere from 6 months to a year. Once the chatbot contract disappears, the QR code will direct people to the Begin at Bothell website. So
Okay.
that can stay up for as long as possible. And yeah.
Okay.
Any questions about that? Okay.
Just the upcoming Creative Arts Grant Award events.
I did want to quickly mention that the city has purchased the Gallo d'Ora building. And because of the city now owns that building, that will become another area that we will be activating using the $65,000 that we have available. So we have 3 artists that we are currently speaking to. We are asking them to put a proposal together for their design idea. And then we will be bringing that to the Arts Commission for consideration from you on your recommendation, what art would go there for that space.
You said the 65, this is the 65 from the port is part of that whole act. Okay.
Yeah.
Does it have to, is it tied into the overall theme of the other work? Or is it's considered to be independent?
Independent.
Okay.
I was gonna say, there's this use, but that actually wouldn't be the worst space for a black box.
It's a temporary building that will be
Oh, okay.
demolished. It's,
I mean, I was thinking, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm thinking a level in a parking garage because one of the best kabuki spaces I went to was in Japan. And because you don't want any light creeping in, you go in this little thing and then you take the elevator. And there's a Atlantic Theater in New York that's the same thing. It might be an elevator up, but it's because first ground floor is prime retail, right? So anyway, There's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
possibilities.
It's a
but I know.
temporary space,
Yeah,
though. It's not,
That's gonna be a
perfect.
development.
I mean,
yeah.
Still.
The way it's
Main
a development, maybe we talk.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Get in
main
the
thing
garage.
we need to pay attention to right away is what would the
Uh, those-
capacity be
Of
of any new space? Would it be 150 or would it be?
Right, right. All right, any questions? All right, upcoming Creative Art Grant Award recipient events. The event with House of Kala that was scheduled for June 7th was postponed. A new date has not yet been set, but once it is, I'll be able to update that on the website. They are doing an event, their performance is called Collaborative Canvas #3. And it's a performance featuring African dance, flamenco dance, and vocal and chenda, which is traditional wood drums from India. The next event coming up is We the People on July 3rd at Bothell's First Lutheran Church. It's an inspirational concert for piano, chorus, and solo voices. I also have postcards for these, so if you would be so kind as to take a couple and distribute them wherever you go. If you go to, a cafe in Bothell and you can put a couple up at their cash register, that would be fantastic. Then on July 14th, Peter and the Wolf concert at Bothell Library is scheduled from 7 to 8 p.m. It's a woodwind quintet and storytelling event.
That's what you've mentioned.
That's what,
But
sorry.
yeah, but I saw that on the calendar of kids events. So what was the date again?
There's 2 dates. The next one coming up is July 14th. And you can go to the city's Arts Commission page to see upcoming free events for the schedule of all the activities. And then on July 19th, I did not take Spanish, so pardon my interpretation of Su Aria. Anyway, it's an afternoon of Andean music, culture, and community. It's on July 19th from 4 to 5 p.m.
Is that in the library?
That is at another church, and that is sorry, I didn't write that down. But it'll be good for you to see under Arts Commission. See, it says upcoming free community arts events.
Which is great. That was great. Yeah, it's great that you're doing this.
Suyata.
So, yeah, so LL is, yeah, is Y, so. Yeah.
Oh, I don't have the location here. That's probably why I didn't mention it. They're doing it at First Lutheran Church in Bothell.
Gotcha. Okay. The spot to be. It's
the one venue.
I know, it is the.
And why
Is
we
that
need
the
a
one
black
here?
box.
Why many?
Yeah,
Yeah, gotcha,
Yeah.
and music girls got meetings.
they're great people.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
fantastic. And that's, and then quickly, I just wanted to let you know that the artists that were commissioned to do the mural panels down at Triangle Junction, they have completed their project. So now we'll be able to start doing some little marketing about them and the artists, and we'll be creating a sign with a QR code that will lead people to our walking tour. So that will become some input where you can learn more about the artists, and we'll be doing that for the sculpture at City Hall that is now up as well. So the salmon sculpture that was also approved through the Creative Art Grant Program is now in place down at the Park at Bothell Landing. So please go by and check it out.
And what about the Blades of Change?
That event is August 15th.
Okay.
And
Is
we'll
that also
also,
down by the?
that'll be at Triangle Junction as well.
Okay, cool.
Very impressed with all the work that they've done on the mural. Like, they look even better than the photos, which is
Yeah.
beautiful.
They look
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, and I need to walk down there. I just
Yeah.
drove past, I'm like, wait.
Yeah, I was walking by, because we walk every day, and so I was walking by, and just watching their progress and trying not to be too creepy. I was like standing kind of far away, but it's just so fun. Like at first, there's a lot of them. my husband was like, I don't know what this is gonna turn into, and then as the days kept going, it's just like, especially the one of the guitar and the birds, the sketching of it at first, Marcos was like, I don't know about this one, but that's now our favorite. Beautiful.
I
Just
saw the
like,
video on the
yeah.
Bothell, Facebook.
On the community page, yeah, it's fantastic. They're really interested in doing, and we are too, obviously, a special event. And their availability, when you start looking at,
said
you know,
they-
the artists,
okay.
the
Yeah.
6 artists, and so they, you know, really couldn't find a date until August. And I talked to Ashish about it too, and I think that, you know, that would be something that maybe council would like to go to. So if there's like a date in August that you think might work, if you have a preference or any thoughts about when it could happen or when it should happen.
Well, just when you said, now would council want to do it on a Tuesday because they all come here for their meetings oh, they don't meet in August either though.
That's correct.
Yeah.
No, so,
So,
so anyway, we're gonna try. I mean, we've heard from 4 of the artists and they're interested, but the other 2 haven't replied back. So I don't know yet if, you know, if they'll all be able to make it, but we'll see about that. And then we'll be doing social posts. And then Jonathan with Seattle Children's, he did it with his class, and he was just he said the whole process was just so amazing, and his students had a fantastic time, and they just really valued it very much. So I'm gonna try to.
okay, I was gonna say, can we see the rest? I don't know, I can't see Kylie or, is making sure that if anybody's got.
Are there gonna be food trucks there in August?
Oh, yeah.
Because that would be fun to have.
Oh, yeah, that's.
Because you can really see them from the picnic tables. That's where you really.
Yeah, that's fun.
Wasn't that, because there were those food trucks that you mentioned in the last meeting, I don't know what, I haven't been time to see them.
Now talking about.
Without things down.
I think if they do summer art walks in the summer, the same cadence, but it'd be good to coordinate with one of those because people are already downtown and it's great to address, you get more visibility.
And during the
Summer.
summer.
Yeah. If not an art walk, then the maker's fair.
Yeah, something like that would be perfect. Yeah, just coordinate something already going on so we get more people.
Right.
You're talking about
Yeah, the junction.
the vendors.
Yeah.
We've been, Ashish is working on that. We've gone through a series of interviews. They selected some vendors. You know, the idea is that these are vendors that are very much like the pop shops. These are emerging business owners that are trying to, you know, launch their business and see how successful it is. They don't necessarily have trucks at this point. Some of them might have trailers. You saw down there for a while that there was a vendor that had a tent. And I don't think they realized the amount of work it took just to get there, and they have since backed out. So I think we're struggling to try to get that launched and going, and, you know, finding the right group of individuals for that. But I think I don't know a lot about it, but I think that it's coming along and they've gone through the interviews, so.
And I know we were kind of combining all these things, the food truck, the junction, and the
Right.
artist. I think what I was also hearing is makers market or an art walk. Maybe you do the artist gathering with the 6 in conjunction when you have a lot of people, art-oriented people
Oh,
all around.
Yeah, that's a great idea. August 15th is when the Blades of Change is doing their event down in that location. They'll be painting the blades, they'll have hands-on art activities, and then they will have some live music. And then the idea was that we would have the food vendors there, and then the pop shops would be open. So maybe trying to coordinate the same on the same
like a
day.
celebration of the Triangle Junction artists.
Yeah, I have to talk to the coordinators of the event. They may not be interested
Oh,
and
of
it
course.
might feel like, well, this is our event, you know, but I
Right,
can
yeah,
ask them.
I understand that.
Yeah,
But when's the regular art walk?
Yeah.
Right, maybe in conjunction.
you're talking about the Arts Alive Art Walk.
Yeah.
They're not doing another one for a
Oh,
while.
oh.
I don't even think they have the schedule.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
Is there one in September?
That's the last.
Oh, wow.
What's the next makers?
Yeah, they know they do those for the summer for sure.
They just did a makers market a couple weeks
They did
ago.
in May, like 23rd, I think was the last one.
Yeah.
So they should have one probably. next month. That'd be awesome to coordinate with that, because the pop shops get a lot of traffic.
July 31st,
Okay.
Is the makers market?
night fight.
Oh, cute.
And then there's a hot sauce festival, not like terrorism.
Okay.
Thinking of that,
Yeah.
I just thought about this when we're talking about all the markets and stuff. Is it possible, like, we can get a table to promote the arts commission, like, to promote arts at one of these events?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And then, like,
I think that's kind of what the goal has been. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what this,
Yeah.
the thing that Mitchie and Hillary are looking at, is like, how do we,
Yeah.
where's our, like, more engagement in the community?
Right,
Where's
so we
success?
get
Right.
a tent and a table, and then we can have people
Have it
write down their
interact.
ideas of what they want to see in the community and things like that. They can just write it down and.
Absolutely.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be great.
All right,
And she, do you have?
What's the process to get to a table like?
We can-
you ever-
Yeah, we can figure that out. Yeah, we can make that happen if that's something you want to do.
yeah, we just would want to make sure it's like, where there's a reason to come to see us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We could put together postcards about upcoming Creative Art Grant Awards or
We could have a
meet and
hands-on
mingle
thing.
or art
Maybe also
calls.
a page of the otter or
Yeah.
something, like the art. I don't know if the artist would be willing to give that back to outlines for her drawings, but the stickers that are all down the street, we could print those out as color pages if she's willing to do that. Kids could color it, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like
We
some
can have the local artist even send us a PDF that we can print out for people to color.
Yeah,
So that,
yeah.
with their logo on the page.
Yeah, so they can
Yeah.
promote themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we can ask.
Something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that we can promote the local artists as well, right? While we are
Yeah,
letting the public know that. we are-
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
All right, one more to come there. Anything else on the
No,
update?
thank you.
All right, last final comments, what's happening around town? We're talking about some of it already. We obviously World Cup and a lot of activities around that right now. Anybody have anything else they want to bring up?
I read that right.
Great.
Future meeting agenda items, I think we have said, we have, I guess, action items next. So future meeting agenda items, we will just to, what we talked about at the very beginning, I can't remember if Kylie and Vita were on when we were talking about the council update. So there's you just, okay, the July 7th, and then we're gonna post a draft of the deck, and we'll have a deadline of when you need to share any comments. But again, everybody's welcome to be at that meeting. And we will have a, a pretty brief slideshow just to kind of, give them an update on kind of where everything's at, with the whole goal of, we want them to give us more funding because here's all the great things that already happened. Anything else from our future meeting agenda items? I know, we talked about a lot of things here, so we will be putting the agenda items together, in about 3 weeks for our July meeting, so. Action items. So we had quite a few from today. I know one was regarding the black box. We're talking about the analytics, Hillary and I, Lynchy and Hillary talking more about the activities under that third priority bucket. Anything else I missed, Danae?
Letter subcommittee.
It's a
Send
newsletter subcommittee,
Danae, if
right?
you're interested.
Yep. Also, I have all the things from the, the elections are next month, so everybody's giving me that. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right.
Adjourn.
Yes, so then we need a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting. Great, thank you. Anybody want to second the motion? Okay, the motion is to adjourn tonight's meeting. Anybody want to discuss this?
Kylie, did you do that? It was Unshi that made the motion and seconded by Hillary. Okay.
Okay, all those in favor, please raise your hand. All right, it looks like it's unanimous.
Yep.
The meeting is adjourned. Our next meeting is Thursday, July 16th. At like 5. Hold on.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.